Welcome to Teach Me a Lesson. I am Elliott G-B, and as always, thank you so much for listening, watching, checking out the podcast. In this day and age, you could be doing anything else. We have the world at our fingertips, and yet you're choosing to spend that time here with us, and I greatly appreciate it. You can follow me on all social media platforms at Grentradish, Grentradish. I also live stream a couple times a week once I get better. I have COVID, and it's not very fun, so I'm going to try to speed through this as much as possible. But once I bounce back from this, I will get back to live streaming multiple times a week on Twitch and YouTube. I post about it on socials and all that, so definitely give me a follow if that's interesting to you. And yeah, check it out. Also, make sure to extend the support for the podcast by following on social media. We're on Instagram and Twitter at TMALPod, TikTok at Teach Me a Lesson Pod, also on Facebook, where you can listen to the episodes directly in the mobile app. But yeah, TMAL Pod, Instagram and Twitter, Teach Me a Lesson Pod on TikTok. Also, show your support for the podcast, not just by sharing and spreading the word about it, which you should be doing with any art that you enjoy from any artist, whether it's a painter, a singer, a dancer, just anything. If you enjoy it, share it, because in this day and age, the digital numbers are really what matters. So yeah, that would really help. But also, you know what also matters? Money. So if you want to support the podcast, check out the Patreon. If you're watching on YouTube, it's right there. I'm pointing to it right now. It is patreon.com/ElliottGB. That is my name. That is patreon.com/ELLIOTTGB, where for $3 a month, you can just show your support. For $5 a month, you will get bonus content for every episode. This episode, I had to cut out so much good stuff just for time, but it's very funny, very enjoyable. Dewa is a hoot, to say the least. So check that out. And then for $10 a month, you get even more. You get some merch, future opportunities. It's all up there. So check it out, patreon.com/ElliottGB. And I would greatly appreciate that support. It would definitely help things out. Make sure to rate and review the podcast if you're on Apple Podcasts. If you're on Spotify now, you can rate 5 stars, 4 stars, as usual, 3 stars and below. Just email me and we'll talk about it like adults, okay? We don't need to be hashing this out in the comment section. All right, so just make sure to drop that rating review. It would also help a lot. Okay, let's get into it. But before we do, little content warning. We do talk about parenting and parenting styles. So we briefly touch on hitting kids. We don't get very graphic about it, but we do bring that up. So if you are sensitive to that, just a fair warning. That's in the episode. A little content warning. But yes, besides that, I think that's about it. So let's get into it. It's a very great conversation with a great person. Dewa is awesome, hilarious, very smart, down to earth. And yeah, I don't know. It's just a great conversation. I'm very glad I was able to have it. And I really hope you enjoy. So please enjoy this conversation with the very funny and talented Dewa Dorje.
Aaron and I were talking one day about like when you live with people and the TV's in the front room and then like you walk in the door and everybody's like watching TV and you're like, oh, hey, what you watching? Okay. You sit on the arm of the couch for a second.
You try to get caught up, and then it's
Yeah,
like
no,
if it's too
out.
far in, you're just like, all right, I gotta go to my room. I can't
I know,
try to.
everybody in the living room is like, you're irritating us right now.
Yeah,
Stop
yeah.
talking.
Get out.
Out. You brought all the cold air and now you couldn't get the opinions.
God damn. All right,
But
well,
yeah,
let's get
so,
to it.
All right. What's up?
What's your lesson? What do you want to talk about today?
I would say I had a serious one. But I didn't know if we were supposed to be silly or if we're supposed to be serious.
No, serious is good.
My one is, it's going to sound stupid because cliche.
If you say live, laugh, love, I swear to God.
No, I'm going to say believe in yourself, like hella believe in yourself. That would be the life lesson, yeah. Like, okay. It's just coming from a place you have to know is, I'm a mom of 2 kids. I'm a mother of a teenager and a tween. That's what they call them, but it's like they're 9 years old, right?
Yeah.
They call that a tween. I don't know why. I didn't have pubes when I was 9, but I mean, shit. I guess some people do. I saw the book and it's like, dude, pubes start now? I was like, damn. I do remember one time, though, I was in a bathtub with my homegirls. I was about 7 or 8. We all had to take a bath together because their mom made, if I was there, I had to get in the fucking bath too. It was too much. Anyway, so we all taking a bath.
That's interesting.
Back in the day, yeah, you'd have to all take the bath. That was how it was. And so, like, I remember my 2 homies, full bush, and I had nothing, and it was very awkward. Because I remember just, like, looking around the room and be like, oh, God. Everybody's got pubes, and I don't have pubes. And we're supposed to have pubes. Nobody brought that up with me.
Is that when you started your comedy career? Oh, I didn't get the memo on that one, guys.
I feel underdressed, you know what I mean?
All right, I hear my mom calling me. I'm going to get out of here. Y'all have fun in that bath. I've been Dewa Dorje. Thank you so much.
You going to use that baby powder? That's going to be my catchphrase.
You going to use that baby powder? That's, please.
Anyways, but just I am raising 2 kids, and I am looking at parenting, and I always look at parenting and that type of stuff and then comparing it to how I grew up, and I just never believed in myself after a certain period of time. I more was concerned with the way that other people perceive me than how I perceive myself. So I always played it safe in a lot of ways. Like I would take very calculated risks. I would stay within the range of what was safe and never really push myself in ways that I wanted to because I didn't believe in myself.
So you did do like a quick little thing. You're a mom, you're a comic, but what's like a little bit bigger but still quick kind of backstory to get people caught up if they're not familiar with
about
you?
Who I am?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I'm Tibetan American. I was one of the first Tibetans born in America, from Seattle. And I started comedy a little later than most people, but I mean, some people start comedy too early, maybe. But so I don't know. I just have been through a lot of shit in my life. I was married for 19 years. And I got 2 kids. I was a stay-at-home mom. I did the whole like attachment parenting. Like I breastfed my kids for hella and carried them everywhere, and we did bed sharing and all that kind of stuff. And I just wanted to do something different. I didn't want to do it the way that I was told to do it. And so I just think about parenting a lot and raising humans and what I think is right. And I think most of the problems happen because people don't believe in themselves. You know, for whatever reason. It's like people are raised, you know, like adults for a long time and parents have raised kids like they're supposed to be little robots, you know? And I know that is because of years of like intergenerational trauma. Like if you think about like childhoods, the way that the kids have it now, it's a really young concept. Like before, I mean, kids used to work like from the time they were like their fingers and stuff, right? Yeah. So having a childhood and having that kind of stuff was pretty much like reserved for rich people. You know, it was a very classist thing.
It was a luxury.
So it's intergenerational. And I know that, you can't change it because evolution takes about 900 years or whatever. But I just think that trauma is passed down. If my mom, my grandma hit my mom gets frustrated at me, she's going to hit me. What hitting does is tell the child that there's part of themselves is unacceptable and that a large person, an adult, will have to hit you to make you understand how stupid you were. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Unfortunately, that's what is taught. They don't go, oh shit, or they'll be taught that you can't trust me. Like, you say you love me, you say that you care about me and take care of me, but you whoop my ass, you make me feel like shit, you're like 7 times my size, and you're gonna hit me and belittle me? And what you're teaching me is to be scared of who I am and scared of your truest self. And so basically, I think most adults are just trying to unravel all the trauma that was done to them to be able to raise them, you know?
Yeah.
Because that's what parents had to do. I mean, even though they don't mean to inflict the trauma, they believe that that's how they need to parent their child to survive. to make it to the next generation or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's like a evolutionary thing, evolution thing too, because they want to make sure that this person, and most of the time it's been done by hitting and yelling. You know what I'm saying? Because danger was so imminent. You know what I'm saying? Like my mom came from Tibet, and they might cover your mouth if you need to shut the fuck up because somebody's coming to shoot your ass. You know what I'm saying? So that had to be done. But now that you don't need to do that anymore, that trauma still lives in the body, and then you're always tense. You always have PTSD because my mom, for example, is not in danger of being killed by the Chinese anymore. She has different concerns. But I just think that we have to raise children to really, really know who they are, really, really know who they are from a very young age. And then from that, they can expand into sharing love and compassion and all the things that other people need from them once the inside is full and complete. And that's why I think that the most important lesson I learned was to believe in yourself, because that is our gift. Our gift to the world is us being able to know what is divine inside of us.
Have you listened to The Weeknd's newest album by chance?
Yes. Yeah. Which one? The one with
the Dawn FM, I think it was called, or just Dawn.
Not the one with where he's all beat up, not the Blinding Lights one.
Yeah. No.
That one?
Or no, that was from last year. He just put one out like last month.
No.
I
love The Weeknd though.
Yeah, so it's actually really interesting when you're talking about the trauma being passed down and stuff, and just kind of as a parent not knowing any better, you know, if you're like, that's how I was raised. And it's funny because a lot of parents too, or older people will be like, oh, when I was a kid, you know, my parents used to do this, they used to do that, they used to just lock us outside, or they used to just lock us in the room with nothing in there besides the bed and some sheets, and that was our punishment. And they'll talk about how terrible it was, and then turn around and do the same thing because it's like, well, I learned. And it's like, yeah, but you know,
not really.
You're not good. Like, it's not like this made you, like, it clearly still affects you if you bring it up in a negative way. But on that, on The Weeknd's album, Quincy Jones has an interlude where he's talking about his life kind of growing up and then raising his kids. And he says, paraphrasing, he says that he had, I don't know if he had him young or if his mom had him young, but basically his mom was taken away for mental health issues when he was a kid. Then he had a really bad stepmom who kind of cemented in his head the idea that I don't need a mom, this and that. And then when he had kids, he was like, I didn't know how to raise them. He's like, I tried, I love them, and they knew that I love them, but I didn't know how to raise kids. I didn't know how to properly do it because I was never shown how to do it. And so that when you were saying that, it reminded me of that, because that's, I think, what a lot of people don't realize is how trauma is passed down generationally, like you said.
It's such a major thing in what I believe now about white supremacy, what I understand about racism and privilege. I like, even like people say, okay, you know, as far as being colonized and having that be passed down, like that has affected me. Like my country, my parents' country was colonized. They had to escape, and how being colonized affects generations that come after that, of being afraid, and how that, like my mom was afraid, and then so she raised me afraid, and then I raised my kids afraid, and so my kids we pass down anxiety, we pass down, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, that's really difficult to change, but that's what I've committed myself to. And I know I'm not going to be perfect, but as long as I'm in the direction of love and compassion, I think I'm going the right way. Because at the very least, when you get to those moments as a parent, which everybody does, or even just in life, anyone, where you're so frustrated, you're so mad, or you're so whatever, it's just best to actually submit and don't do anything.
Yeah.
Don't actually do anything. And just tell yourself, when I'm this angry, I don't do anything.
Yeah.
It's the best. Like when you feel so mad, you might hit your kid or yell at them or shake them or whatever happens. You got to take a beat, and anything is better than to do something. You know, I mean, not anything, just do nothing.
Yeah.
Don't do no. So yeah, I just feel like if we could raise people, and if we didn't learn it growing up, if we start believing in ourselves, there's so many things that are possible.
It's interesting too because like something I learned when I kind of got into self-helpy stuff when I stopped drinking
Mm-hmm.
and was, you know, getting more
How long you
focused.
been sober now?
Actually, it'll be 3 years on Saturday, on the 22nd. But here's the thing. Thank you, thank you. I don't remember if that was actually if I actually stopped drinking on the 21st or the 22nd, but that's like just one of the dates I remember. I was just like, all right, is either the 21st I said this is my last day drinking, or that's when I like decide. So I'm like, all right, I'll just do the 22nd. But so getting, you know, more focused and kind of like you said, learning about myself and all of that. That's when I realized like the biggest first step that a lot of people don't realize is not necessarily being able to diagnose an issue like in a medical sense, but understanding something's wrong, you know, or seeing, okay, this
Needs attention.
this
I usually say needs attention.
exactly, yeah, this needs attention. So that's a thing where it can get passed down, that kind of trauma and those issues, if it's never, you know, you can understand you don't like it, but if it's never realized that this is an issue or this is what's going on, like especially with hitting kids, is people are, well, that's how I was raised, and if, you know, I knew if I did something I was going to get hit, I wouldn't do it because I didn't want to get hit. And it's like, well, yeah, then you're, you know, kind of leading out of fear and, like you said, distrust and this and that. But until it takes that one person down the line to just be like, oh, this is, I don't know if this is actually good. And until you
Yeah.
have that moment of that realization of either, like with me with drinking, I was like, ah, it's fine, blah, blah, blah. But then I had that one moment where I was like, oh, actually, this isn't as fine as I thought it was. It's ruling a lot more than I thought it did. I thought it was, oh, you know,
Hindering
just
your
kind of,
life, and yeah.
exactly. But once you have that realization, it can seem really intimidating because you're like, oh, well, I want to make this change, but then I have to change this about my life and that about my life and this, and it's like, it's so much. And it's like, no, no, no. You couldn't do any of that if you didn't realize something needed to change, you know? So that's why I think it's kind of a weird reversal, but once you have it in your mind, it's like really freeing to realize like,
Yeah.
oh, actually this doesn't suit me, or this
Yeah.
doesn't suit the other people in my life. So now that's great because I can change it because I realize it.
Yeah.
You know, you can't change something that you don't know about.
And that's really, a lot of times that's just maturity over time, over years, and starting to know yourself. And then also like being able to witness yourself and what your thoughts. That's one thing that I've been doing now that I never even thought I could do, is just like witnessing, not just having emotions, not just having feelings and thoughts, but like witnessing how your mind works.
Mm-hmm.
Taking a step back and observing where your mind naturally goes when you're hurt, when you're lonely, when you're hungry, and observing and saying, is that how I want to show up in the world? You know,
Do you
like
meditate?
I'm like, yeah. So I was like, do I want to show up and be like pissed off every morning? Like my kids are such a driver. Like I used to get so frustrated in the morning because fools is like, oh, my sock has got a fold in it. And I was like, I put their whole clothes on. They'd be like, I gotta go potty. And then I shit myself. And you know what I'm saying? Just like, God damn, we cannot leave. And it's like, you know, I just want to leave. And then I just would just get amped up and just get so frustrated where I would just start yelling at everybody, get your ass in the car, and then this one goes here, and you have your, you know, I don't want to be like that. I just said, fuck, I cannot be this person in the world. When I started going down that way, I was like, cannot. I don't want this kind of morning. I don't want my kids to think this about me. I don't want them to learn that the morning is tense. I don't want them to learn that someone who loves you will yell at you and belittle you. I don't want them to associate love with that. You know, like I don't want them to associate. I mean, I want to get to a point where I really don't have to yell and that type of stuff. It's more of a conversation, a correction. My kids are super smart. There hasn't been a lot of unreasonableness, unfortunately. My youngest has had to mature pretty fast, but since I got divorced. I'm a single mom now, nearly full time. And so I need a lot of help from these guys. And my little one, they're just mature in a way that I was not. And I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
So I just think people should believe in themselves. And I never did, to tell you the truth, Elliott. I did not believe in myself. Not at all. I thought the best I was going to do ever was be helpful to somebody else in life, whether that's my husband, my brother, my whatever, my kids. And then I was just like, fuck that. I was like, no, I got other stuff to do. So then I just started doing stuff for myself and things that made my, like inside person, feel good. Because, I just, also because like last summer, my lungs collapsed and I was in the hospital and I almost died. They thought I had tuberculosis. I didn't have anybody to take care of my kids. I was like, my best friend came and scooped them up, and I almost died because I had an infection covering my lungs that made them collapse. And I think after that, when I was in the hospital, I was just like, you have to do the things. You can't. It's just not like, oh, I'm just gonna set the intention out there and the prayers and go, and everything's gonna happen. It wasn't like that. But I was just like, I am going to work to get better. Everything the doctor said, do the PT, do what they say, to the best of my ability. Not perfect. I'm gonna do my best I can, and honestly, like, work towards that, because I have other shit I want to do. Like, my lung capacity got really diminished after that. So I had to do a lot of like physical therapy for my lungs. But I think after that, I just really started thinking very deeply about believing in yourself. You know how you get on stage and you get nervous or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
I used to get very nervous. Like, I feel like I used to be like, oh my God, I might shit my pants nervous. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's not the vibe you want when you're about to go on stage. Like, just sheer terror every time. White knuckle, piss your pants and shit your pants fear.
That would definitely be a show, though. That would get people talking.
I know.
I'm not your manager, but
hey,
if we want to change course, 2022, just say it.
You could be a shit and piss comic. You could be the first Asian American shit and piss comic.
And then that's when you come in, you shit and you piss, and then you come in with the catchphrase.
Yes. Oh yeah, what was my catchphrase again? What was it?
You gonna use that baby powder?
I was like, oh my God, I got too high. You gonna use that baby powder? Yeah, so I know I kind of got deep there, but I do believe in it. I believe it's all connected to believing in yourself. Because it feels so much better to make people laugh and stuff when you're like, oh, I like making people laugh. I like being on stage and I enjoy this. And if you approach it like that and you're like, oh, I'm going to make them laugh, it's going to happen. I'm one way or another. It's something good's going to happen. But yeah, so I just think I enjoy life more after that happened to me.
Was that kind of the moment that you realized you got to believe in yourself, or you didn't really believe in yourself, or was it?
It was, no, I was like that? Mostly there, but it's not just believing in yourself. It's like, just like sucking yourself off in a nice way. Not a narcissistic way, but
just like, yes.
Your personal fluffer. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're like about to get on stage, you'd be like, you got this, Dewa, you got this, I believe in you, and everything's gonna be okay. Like, why sit there and go, oh fuck, what if I shit my pants? I'm probably gonna shit my pants. I might shit my pants. What am I gonna do? Oh yeah, I'm gonna tie my jacket around my waist in case I shit my pants.
But then what if I piss my pants? Then they're gonna see it in the front.
I know, but then I'll be like, oh, y'all ain't on this? This is the new trend. It's called piss your pants.
All you have to do, if something happens and convince people to trend, just go, oh, you're not on TikTok? You're not on TikTok? All right, man.
You use that baby powder? So I think it was just like feeling like I was raised, Asian people, a lot of Asian Americans are raised to be humble, but in a self-deprecating way. There's a difference. Like, really being humble is the knowing that you love yourself and then you also love others. and that's why you're behaving in a way that's gentle. It's not aggressive. It's humble is different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the humble, it was like doing the act of being humble, but not doing it for the reasons I want to.
You know what I'm like almost like not fully believing it yourself. Yeah, just kind of doing it on the outside for everyone else.
Kind of like if you're as a Tibetan person, you always serve other people. You always offer everything you have, you got to be overly gracious. Mm-hmm. But before you can do the act, the execution of that, you have to not do it because my mom told me to do it. You do it because your foundation and belief in everyone's goodness and your own goodness is so solid that this is how you show reverence for other people.
Yeah, you gotta want to do it versus
have to do it.
Yeah, which is I think about that like as a kid, being like, oh, you gotta share or you gotta offer, or you gotta do this, and you're just like, all right, like let me do it, but I don't fully get it.
Fucking want to do this, yeah. That's the thing is, if you make people, I think, if people are raised with a feeling of having enough and being enough, even if you don't have that mirror, but I just mean being enough, you are, whatever, then people are more compassionate from there. But so yeah, that's what I want to do as a parent. Oh, you said something earlier when you were making your comment I was thinking about.
Oh, being a kid and like having to like share and offer stuff. Or
that is something that I've been dealing with as a parent, sharing as, people always like, share your shit, man. You're always like, everybody, you have to share. And that's exactly what I was talking to my kids about the wanting to help and wanting to share, and where that comes from is like, if you feel secure that sometimes if you don't want to share, you don't have to, you can be either way. And it's not a judgment of your character.
Yeah.
Like, yo, I don't want to share my Skittles today. Back off, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm not opening them yet. That's what they used to say in my school. No, I ain't opening them yet.
Yeah.
Get away. Anyways, but I'd let my daughter and my kids, I was like, yeah, you can say no. You don't want to share something. But that doesn't mean I can't be like, you rude as fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you have to be secure enough and just be like, no, I'm not going to share, and we'll suffer the repercussions if you're not sharing. Because that means next time someone else might not share. But that doesn't mean that you're a bad person. I thought if you didn't share, like that was like a big mark on your character. Like you stingy. Yeah. That's the fucking, that is like the, what is it? Scarlet Letter. Stingy. Elliott, stingy.
I don't think I don't share that much. No, I mean, also share. I was an only child, so I was like, I didn't have to.
You did not have to. How about at school? People would be like, let me get a piece of gum. And
if I fucked with you, I would. But if it was just, but then like random kids would just come up, hey man, let me get a piece of gum. I'm like, I don't know you.
I love it. Why is everybody so gum heavy in school?
Like if it's in class. I think because honestly, it's like I have thought about this a little bit.
You have?
I think, but that. Like just that because here's the thing. I have a younger cousin who goes to the same high school that I went to. Actually, he went to the same elementary, middle school, and high school that I went to, and so now he just started
walking in your footsteps.
He's a freshman.
Walking in your footsteps. Oh, isn't that The Police?
I don't know. I was thinking of
the dinosaur song.
I was thinking of Walking in Memphis.
Oh no, that's what it is. Yeah, no, I did Walking in their footsteps.
Memphis.
Yeah, who's that?
So my cousin is going there and thinking about if this is just the dumb.
What's it been? 10 years? 11 years? 12 years since you've been there?
It'll be 12 years this year because I graduated in 2010.
What did he say? What happens at school nowadays?
I don't even know. But this is where I'm like, I know I'm like older because I was like, man, if he asked me for advice, what would I say? He's never going to ask me for. He's never going to be like, hey, what do you think? And I would be like, I'd be like, I just tell him it gets better like after school because I hated school.
Why?
Barely graduated. I didn't like
when you wake up in the morning, you didn't go to school.
Oh, I hated
it. You skipped.
When I was able to, I would skip. As soon as I had a car and I was old enough, and I had like study hall first period, I would not go. And then once I started working, in restaurants my senior year. That's when I was like, oh, I like this. I fucking hate school. I'm just going to do this as much as possible. So I would skip classes at the end of the day, go home, take a nap, and then go to work. And I'm like, this is tight. Yeah, so I barely graduated. But
you didn't like school because you wasn't smart, or you didn't have no friends, or
no, I just didn't like. If I didn't like the class, you could not get me to do the homework. I just never did homework. That was the thing. I'd be there like every day for the most part.
And you feel like you're not like undereducated though, right?
No, I think I'm overeducated. I'm too smart.
You think so? See, that's why you were just bored. Okay, no, I'm just saying.
You think so? You think you're overeducated? Because I've been hearing a lot of stuff you've been saying.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird shit, Elliott. I don't know if we was... Anyways.
You got some ideas. You got some ideas, that's for damn sure.
A lot of interesting ideas.
No, but so I think, so kind of thinking about that, like what kind of rubbed me about it the wrong way, and what I like specifically would be like teachers who would talk to you like you're an adult, like you're an actual person. And so thinking about that, I'm like, oh, that's right, because you kind of are grasping for responsibility or like something that'll make you an individual and a person. So I think that's wrapping it all back up. That's why kids love gum or eating in school, because one, you're not supposed to do it, but two, they're like, fuck that, I'm making my own choice. I'm making, if I'm going to get in trouble, I'm going to get in trouble, but fuck that. I'm going to walk to that McDonald's at lunch. I'm going to get the food. I'm not going to sit in the cafeteria.
That's me.
Now, I was going to say, is that you? Because I know you like to moon.
I do, yes. This is what I used to love to do. I used to stand in the doorway at a way that the teacher couldn't see, at an angle where the class could see, but the teacher couldn't see. You know what I'm saying? Like one of these guys, and then I would moon the class and I would slam the door hella hard. And run off.
Just a straight up menace.
See, I just thought it was the funniest shit ever.
Why would you have to slam the door?
Because everybody used to do that. That was the funniest shit in our high school. Is if someone would run up and slam the door. And then the second thing was like, there was this one dude, he used to just like, because I went to a pretty like hoodish school, but like, like at those kind of schools or our kind of schools, or, I don't know what to call them because I went there. Everybody is hella funny. So like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so my, this guy would like tell a yo mama joke at the door and then slam it and run off. Everybody loved that. People would just get tickled when you get a joke in a door slam. Like, so he would talk about somebody in the class. He would come over and be like, whatever. I like that. That's like the kind of the metrics is it's like, man, I got in there. I got a yo mama joke off. I got a roast on someone in the back row. So then everyone had to turn and look. And then I got the door slam. I'm a triple threat. I'm a triple threat. I know, right? Sit down, Whoopi Goldberg. Ega yacht. But people got a lot of respect for being funny, and so I love to make a class laugh. I would tell jokes, and like how they say on Twitter, I've been riding that ever since.
I see.
Yes, I used to love to, that's why I love mooning the class. It's so like the shock value. It's like, you're gonna knock it out of the park every time. You know what I'm saying? This is my fucking, I don't know if this is right, but it's kind of my Hail Mary.
That's okay.
Did I use that right?
I think
last ditch effort, right?
A Hail Mary is last ditch. Yeah.
That was it. Yeah. So it's my Hail Mary.
Okay, so that's like if
bombing.
If you went in the doorway, you tried to get a yo mama joke off, you kind of stumbled, so people were like, "Yes, what?" Yeah. And then you're like, and then you try to roast someone in the room.
Yes. But you're like, you're ashy.
But you look at one person and then and think, no, not them, and then glance to another person. But then you start describing that first person because your brain's kind of tripped up. So people are like, what? That's not what Chris looks like. Like what?
No, and then you turn around.
And then you go to slam the door. Your hand slips off the handle. You're like, fuck. Oh. And then your brain's like,
yes,
moon them. Moon them. It'll turn it around. And then you
moon
them.
100%.
Everyone
and
erupts.
then my reputation is saved.
You're mooning him, and as you're bent over on the other side, you're like,
yeah, got him. Got him.
Saved by the butt, baby.
All trusty every time. This little lady keeps showing up for me.
Amazing. Yep.
That's yeah. I have 2 kids. Can you believe it?
Do they also like to moon? Has that been passed down? Have you? No. Have you switched out the trauma for the?
That's what I was gonna say. I have neutralized it in my generation. The need. You could write that on our genealogy in Ancestry.com.
That's like you're just eating right now too.
Stops here. Oh, sorry. I'm just gonna swallow it. It's just like
sit there. Yeah, we're just reminiscing about old days. Pop something in. Let's go for a chew. Why don't people say that instead of snacking? You know, because like a snack is like, oh, I'm just gonna eat a little bit. You know, I'm not gonna eat. It's not a full meal. It's like I'm just gonna eat a little bit. Why don't they say I'm just gonna go for a chew?
Yeah, I like it. You should do it. I think bring it up. I do that all the time. It's like just try to sprinkle it in, see who picks up on it. See who gravitates to it. Yes, you say that among your friends, and you can look at their eyes to see if something inside them caught onto it, and they may put it back there and bust it out.
And that's the thing. Someone might not even realize that they like it in the moment, and then later, when they're talking to
it just rolls out.
It just So you have kind of said it a little bit with like parenting examples and stuff like that, but how has believing in yourself, and I guess I'm kind of taking it to as kind of trying to shy away from being a perfectionist and kind of being more realistic about
that's what I mean.
Your abilities and stuff, and so kind of knowing, okay, if I'm gonna try something new, it's not gonna be 100% right off the jump, you know. So kind of how has that affected your life and your moves going forward?
Man, it's affected my life in every way. I enjoy life so much. I observe my thoughts in a way that I didn't think was possible. I was like, well, fuck that shit. Like when I had meditation and stuff, like I never knew you could observe your thoughts like that.
Mm-hmm.
I never had that experience before. And I don't know if other people do, but it was new to me. And being able to like be calmer that way, and also knowing and reminding myself that, you know, everything is okay. You know, like I do remind myself with my what do they call it? Gratitude for being able to live in this body, in this lifetime, this timeline with these kids. It's been really, really beautiful. Like like I made somebody with my body. Sometimes it blows my mind. Like I made another human in my body. And then I made an organ and threw it away. The placenta. I made that motherfucker and they just cut it out and threw it away. Oh, for real? Okay.
I want to see some. I might want to hold on to that.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. I kind of want to look at it for a while.
I think that's my call. What we do with
my organ, right? I didn't say throw it on the floor. Anyways,
does that one have your name on it? No, it doesn't. It has mine because I made it.
It just weirds me out sometimes that like I made skin, I made hair, I made teeth, I made organs for my fucking kids, and then I gave birth to them, and I gave birth to another human. I just look at them and I just like, it's fucking weird, you know?
Yeah.
When you make another human, it's fucking weird. And then I kiss them and stuff. I'll kiss them and I'll be like, I made this hair and all this stuff. And they'll be like, knock it out. It's like, you better take care of it because I love this hair, you know, like whatever. I take care of your body, you know, that type of stuff, because I don't know. It's just really weird because after you have a baby, this is going to get kind of weird, but after you have a baby, everything from there on out is a release, an expansion and a release for that person, that being, you know, they're going to go further and further away from me, depending on how you want to look at it. Right. Or maybe the circle gets bigger or whatever, but you know, you're just teaching them how to, or coaching them in the world. And I don't know, it's happy and it's sad. It's always bittersweet because they're growing up. They're no less and less your baby, but you want to see them be successful, find themselves, be happy, have joy, and that type of thing. But what's fucked up is when you going back to the generational trauma thing, if you were not shown that, it is even more challenging to demonstrate that or provide that for your children. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's so painful in a way. Like I had to like, I was very parentified when I was young, so I had to do a lot of adult things before I was really, you know, like mature enough. But like allowing my children to have a childhood is something that is going to be hard for me because I didn't have that. So I work on making sure that I go, oh no, this is a gift that you're giving to them, that you will not pass on that part of the trauma, intergenerational trauma. Like then maybe my daughter and son or my children, they're both non-binary, that my children will then raise their children differently and treat, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the one thing I always do with my kids is I go, when they're sick, I go, you want to build a nest? And they're like, well, I say, you feel sick, right? And then, yeah. I say, you want me to build a cozy little nest around you? And they're like, yeah. Every time. Even when a big one. Yeah, I want a nest. And I take all the blankets and I make it all like cozy and I put them in and I tuck them all in there. And I just think, oh my gosh, if I can give that to somebody, like I can give it to my kids, it's hella dope. Just being so like loved on and covered with blankets and soft pillows and being cozy. Like, don't you think that a thing about being cozy is just like the best feeling in the whole world?
Oh, I love it. I hate winter,
cozy.
but I love that's the thing. I hate winter. Coming from Wisconsin,
yes,
it's like it's cold as shit. There's hella snow. Yeah. It's like so debilitating. You're like, I can't do stuff.
Do shit. Yeah,
like I literally, it's hard to even go to the store because I have to dig my car out and
everything's a hassle.
Yeah, exactly. But I love being inside when it's super cold outside, or even just being in my bed and having my room cold. Oh my god, cozy! I love it. There's nothing better. There's nothing better.
Yeah, nothing better than cozy.
Yeah.
Anyways, yes, I love cozy and I love doing that for my kids. It's not just when they're sick, but I love doing that.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds really, really nice.
Really nice. Yeah. Cool. Well, when in Nepal, where my dad spent most of his formative years, one of the things they do to children is they put a mustard seed oil. My dad used baby oil, and they massage their kids like they're in their underwear, and they massage all the limbs and all the lymph nodes and everything, and then they rub them and they put like a blanket out and they lay their kids in the sun and the kids go to sleep, kind of like in an oil, it's all oiled up. My dad used to do that to us, and I used to sleep hella hard when my dad did that. Yeah, it's like massage is a part of the culture, and like massaging your children and letting them sun is like part of the culture. So that's one thing that I love about our culture is that part, the loving part.
Yeah.
How hard we love our kids. Yeah.
That's awesome. That sounds amazing. And I mean, it sounds like now that you, I guess, kind of believe in yourself or are more comfortable with.
Yeah, it's more comfortable. Yeah.
Knowing kind of your limits, but then also, again, kind of like we were saying earlier, by knowing where the line is, then you go, okay, I can push it, but I'm not going to overdo it. I'm not going to do too much. I'm going to be more realistic about it. But by knowing that, then you are kind of more able to give to others because you know exactly what you can give, what you like, say, hey, I like this, maybe you'll like it, and I just want you to feel good, so let me do what I'm able to do instead of maybe stressing about trying to do too much.
Doing so much, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I wanted everybody to be happy. I just want to make people comfortable, make people happy. But what I was going to say is believing in yourself, I think, also entails knowing, when you're doing something that's harmful to yourself. Like if you stay in a relationship too long. I mean, it's not really too long. I want to get away from that, but just longer than you would have liked. You know what I'm saying? And that type of thing, really like learning yourself in those situations.
Because even that type of stuff can be, it's scary even with like drinking, it's scary. Change is scary, knowing, hey, I'm gonna have to change my life. And I remember thinking at the beginning, like, is this just gonna be me now? And being like, what does that even look like? Because I based so much of my life around it, and like socially and all that, and just being like, well, then I can't do this, or I can't do that, and that just looks so weird to me right now, and this and that, and getting kind of worked up about it. But then just being, I don't know if I read something or listen to a podcast or something, but it was just kind of take it day by day. And the book I read really helped, The Easy Way to Quit Drinking, which really kind of like rewires your mind to realize, I guess not rewires it, it makes you realize your mind has been rewired to centralize drinking with everything.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so
that's like, what a part of the alcoholism or something like that.
Yeah, and so like socially, then I realized how much of my social life was focused around it, and being like, all right, I'm gonna go out. Not like I need to get drunk to talk to people. I mean, I am an introvert and shy, so. But even when I would drink, that was the crazy thing, is even when I would drink, I go to a bar by myself and I just sit by myself and just be on my phone or this and that until someone would like come meet me or some shit. But realizing how centralized it is to everything that you do, and then in the book you realize, oh, it doesn't really add anything to the experience. You think that it does. You think, oh, I'm gonna sit down, I've had a tough day, I'm gonna have a drink, and oh, it's gonna relax me. Well, it's like, okay, the drink isn't what's relaxing you. It's sitting down, decompressing, getting away, whatever. That's what's actually doing it.
It's being intentional about it, though.
Exactly. And a specific example he used in the book, I might have said this on a different episode before, but he talked about him and his friend had this like vacation they would go on every year, and they go somewhere in Europe, and they would get the same hotel room that had this balcony with like this amazing view. And they would, as soon as they would land, they'd have a bottle of champagne, they'd go out on the balcony, they'd crack it, they'd drink the bottle, then that would be like the start. Then he stopped drinking and went out there with his friend. His friend was like, all right, we're going to do it. And he's like, I'm not drinking, I'm going to have this water. And his friend like couldn't wrap his mind, or he was like, but it's not the same.
That's part of it. That's part of it too.
And he was like, what do you mean it is the same? He's like, no, but it's we're drinking. He's like, no, the thing is, we're here together. We're sitting down. We're taking this time. We're enjoying each other's company. That's the ritual. It's not the champagne. It doesn't matter what we're drinking.
Yeah.
As long as we're still doing that.
But then if that person has such a shallow personality, if they're not going to see it, it helps you reveal who your friends are too.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. I guess thankfully I haven't lost a lot of friends, because it's like I can still go to bars. I just get soda water. But I can still go out. So it's not like there's people I completely don't see anymore. But it has changed the dynamic, because I realized, the only thing we really had in common is we would just go out and get shit-faced all the time. And like, that was it. But once you take that out of the equation, we don't really got much going on.
I don't even really like you, bruh. I don't even really like you that
You're
much.
actually not fun, dude.
It's like crazy. Downer, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I hear that, because I don't know. I think you're almost exactly 1 year ahead of me on sobriety. I mean, alcohol sobriety for myself, but like I am 2 years. Like I just passed 2 years.
Nice.
And, thank you. Thank you. But I feel like because maybe because of the people I hang around or whatever, most of my friends don't drink. Almost everybody I hang out with doesn't drink. And the people that do drink still, I've actually started to feel like less good around them when they're drinking, because they usually drink and then begin to get drunk. And I just don't like it. It's just not fun for me. But but by and large, most of the people I kick it with do not drink. And I think it's kind of cool. Like, I just feel so much better. I mean, physically, I feel so much better. Like, I don't know. I just have more energy all around. I know my inflammation is down. Like, I don't get, nearly as many health issues. And I don't know. I just think life is better that way. And I had a problem with alcohol. But then that was the other thing, is I just kind of raw dogged it, because I used to drink because I didn't like to have feelings after I did, like when you do a set and you feel happy about something or you feel like you did well. I had to really numb that. Otherwise, I would get overwhelmed.
Oh.
Because it kind of like contradicted a belief I had in myself. Like I was like, "You're not funny. Do not get on stage. You are not funny. You are not funny." So if people like my jokes or whatever, they would like maybe contradict like this belief that I thought wasn't funny and I can't make nobody laugh and that type of stuff.
That's interesting. I've never heard anything like that before. But
what? The negative voice like that?
Yeah, but that it's like it's like forcing you to confront it.
Yeah, so that's what I did. I was like, I confronted it, and I had to get up on stage, and I told myself, "You love this, do it. Yeah. You don't need to be numb. You don't need to be numb." And that was fucking scary. But I save hella money now too. Like if I don't drink, I save hella money. Like I used to spend so much money on alcohol. I don't even want to think about it. Like I don't even. Where did this money come from? Like now I feel like where did this money come from? Because I want some of it. But yeah, I don't know. I save hella money. I feel better health wise, but it is difficult. But nowadays, people are getting very creative with their non-alcoholic drinks, and I started making all kinds of NA drinks over COVID.
Okay.
Like stuff with kombucha in it. Stuff with it's like ginger beer and kombucha, and some of them is just like different kinds of bitters. I tried all different kinds of bitters. So I have a NA. What do you call it? Like a menu, because I don't like to want to be boring. I feel like it's boring if one person's drinking and I have nothing.
Yeah.
It's weird. So I usually, I can make something. And some bartenders in Seattle, at least, they're pretty good at making NA drinks too.
All right, well, kind of wrapping things up. Were there any books or anything that have helped you?
Oh yeah, I read All About Love, which is a Bell Hooks book. Okay. I love that. And Bell Hooks has beautiful commentary on relationships and masculinity and love and that type of stuff. And I really like the book Bird by Bird.
Yes, I've read like half of it. I haven't finished it though.
I love that book. I love the way it is written, and another one is gonna sound dumb, but it's fucking true, and I loved it. Is Tiffany Haddish's book?
Okay.
The last Black Unicorn.
Yeah.
It's to me, it's so. It's just like her. There's just something about it that is so combination of innocent, raw, playful, like that type of stuff. But it's fucking hardcore. Like the shit that she did, the things that happened to her, she kind of says it in a playful way, which, I mean, you can interpret that a lot of different ways. But I just think that kind of person, the kind of person she is and what she's been through is so unique and amazing. And I love to hear the stories about how it came to be.
Yeah.
Because she had a very, very, very tough childhood.
Yeah.
And so, and just like coming up and sleeping in her car or whatnot, coming up. But you know what I was thinking about? Is like, do you think that when people talk about the good old days and like they were sleeping in the car, do you think they were just like sleeping in the car for the night? Because that's very different than living in the car.
I think some of them, but there
like,
were.
You know what I'm saying? Like they're kind of making it rougher than it was.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah.
Because I feel like there's a lot of I lived in my car stories, but I wonder if that just was like until my apartment got freed up.
Yeah,
like that's very different.
I'm sure it was definitely a combination of both. And I'm sure there were people that were like, yeah, I lived in my car. And then reality was like when a friend wouldn't let me crash on their couch.
Yeah, whatever,
But I think there definitely were people that were like, no, I didn't have friends here. Especially like with LA, when people like move to LA. It's like, if you come here and you don't know anyone, like, if you can't get a place, you really don't have anywhere to go. So I think it is. Car. But there's definitely people who are like, man, it was rough. It's like kind of I had to walk uphill both ways to school and 1,000 feet of snow. And
that was the thing about Tiffany Haddish's book, was that she also, she just was so matter of fact about things that she had done in the past. She was a pimp. She pimped somebody, and it was just the way that she wrote about it was like, I don't want to say it was like, it was just very innocent. I mean, it's such a fucking provocative thing to say,
Yeah.
in a story, but the way that it was told it didn't seem that way to me. Maybe I'm remembering it wrong, but I really liked it at the time. I really, because I've read a lot of the bigger semi-autobiographical comedian, like women comedians that have written, like Tina Fey's book, Ali Wong's book, Tiffany Haddish, people like that, Amy Schumer and that type of thing. And I don't know, she just has an amazing story, and her mom has a lot of mental health issues, and how she came up. I think she's a really cool person.
Yeah.
And Brene Brown, obviously, all the Brene Brown shit, because I love Brene Brown.
Okay.
But she's very white, you know what I'm saying? Like, her shit is very white-centered. It's very different for, people of different cultures than white culture.
Yeah. All right, well, the very last part, I didn't tell you about this, but you can it's 2 questions. You can answer one or both, but they are in, like, just a quick 10 seconds or less, quote unquote. What do you think the secret to a happy life is? And what's one of your simple pleasures in life?
What was the first one again?
What do you think the secret to a happy life is?
Happy?
Yeah.
Well, I'll have you know that my name actually means happiness / bliss. It's a state of being in like, it's like a Buddhist term for just kind of like a joy, content, bliss, but more on the happier side. A contentment that's leans heavy, happy, but spiritually. But I guess it's, I don't know, it's just like, really sit with what the fuck is going on. Like, be present in the moment and realize that we're alive now, and how beautiful that is, and the world that we live in, and what it feels like to be alive. And if you have someone that fucking loves you and thinks about you all the time, you have stuff to look forward to, you have a good life. So the secret is being present. Don't go to sleep, type thing. I think that's really what it meant when I think that's what people meant when they were like, oh, I'm woke. And that's not what I'm saying, because it's been co-opted. But that's the thing about being awake or being awakened. That's what my son's name means, Bodhi. It means awakened or enlightened. That's what it's like. Being awakened is like when you become sober, when you decide, like, that you want to be present in the world and accountable for what you do, and knowing that the only one that really is counting is you. Nobody knows if you did all the things that you believe in are done. Only you. So if you think you're dope and you're doing the best, then that's the best you can do. But I think most people would really go, I could probably do better than that. I bet, if I held myself to a higher standard. Yeah. But yeah, it's dope. I'm very happy right now.
Nice. All right, so then what's one of your simple pleasures? Like, for example, mine, I love updating my phone apps. I don't know why, but it brings me so much joy. And when there's an app that I use all the time and there's an update, I'm like, let's go.
Really?
Yeah.
I am like the complete opposite with that. I'll be like, fuck you and all your because it's always when you need it.
Yeah.
When you find out. But guess what I did yesterday? That's funny that you said last night. I said, fuck it. I hit update all now. Boom. Ooh, put it down. I left.
What a rush. What a rush.
I left because I'm coming back. Everything is new, fresh. Everything's got that update. Everything got that latest emoji. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything is happening right. It's like new shit. New.
Yeah, yeah.
But, I mean, I don't know if I have a simple pleasure like that. I mean, I like to have lucid dreams.
Okay.
So I tell myself, like, this person and this situation and da 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 da, and then I can close my eyes and I could make it happen.
Damn.
So I could lucid dream like anything. Like before, I mean, I'm only saying this because this is the only person I've ever that knows that I've done that, and they said, anyways. So my ex-husband, before we got together, I knew him when we were children, and before we got together, I missed him so much that I would lucid dream about him all the time.
Wow.
Yeah, and I would just like bring him into my dream, and then I would be like, "Oh, let's talk," da, 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 and then I just felt like I had seen him. So I don't know. I like to do that if it's something that like my dad, like I miss my dad. I'll do it with my dad and shit like that.
That's awesome.
Hey. Oh, you know what though? I do like Swedish fish and shit like that. I do. But these are Scandinavian swimmers, which is the Trader Joe's version.
Okay.
I mean, why you got to get all ethnic with it? You know what I'm saying? Oh, I guess Swedish. That's why.
Yeah, Swedish. Hey, they shot first.
Yeah, right. We're including everybody. This is inclusive.
Yeah,
Scandinavian swimmers. Now
it's
we ain't like it's just the Swedes. It's just the Swedes. What about
fish
the Finns?
It's
the
fish without borders. That's what it is. Fish without borders.
What about the Swedes, the Finns, the Nordies? You know the Nordies don't fuck around like that.
They love their candies.
They do. And they're like, oh, yeah? You made that shit, Sweden? You made that shit? I told you about adding gills.
That's them going back to, you know what you need to do? You need to share. You need to share. You need to believe in yourself. You gotta share.
Scandinavian. Everybody.
It's for everybody. It's for all of us.
Swedish. I see you.
We're not mad, but we're not going to forget. Just know that. Just know that.
Permanent record.
All right. Well, Dewa, this has been amazing. Thank you so much for coming through. What do you want to, anything you want to plug? Where can people find you?
Oh, D's nuts. I can't say it. I can't. I don't know why I said it like that.
And this is a real plug too, by the way. If you heard that and you were like, you know what, out of all the stuff I've heard today, this is where I draw the line. This is a real plug. This isn't a bit.
So D's Nuts is my, I can't even look in the camera, I'm gonna look up, is my monthly talk show. And it's at the Hereafter, which is in the Crocodile in Seattle Comedy Club. Third Wednesday starting on February 16th. And I'm just going to be silly like this. And, oh yeah, DewaDorje.com. I don't even know how to do that because Dewa Dorje isn't intuitive.
Spell it out.
You know what I'm saying? DewaDorje, Delta Echo Whiskey Alpha.
Biatch.
That's right. That's right.
Damn, I wasn't expecting the military spelling. What about social media? Where can people follow you?
On Instagram mostly. I do Instagram and MySpace. Just kidding. I mostly do Instagram and my website, and then that's at Dewa Dorje, DewaDorje. And yeah, Tibetan American comedian, dancer. I made them up. The last one, I'm not. I don't know. I'm not a dancer. Acoustic guitar player.
Okay.
Acoustic only. I don't fuck around with electric. And
old school.
Old school. You know, I want to get unplugged with it. You know, when we're out in the streets, I want to be able to have that freedom to really use
I thought you meant like MTV Unplugged. Like, bring me back to the 90s. Put me in that circle stage.
Yes, right? Well, that too. I mean, people love Tibetans. They'll circle a Tibetan, no problem. If a Tibetan with a drum...
It's a wrap.
And an electric guitar? Oh, the whites? That's a panty dropper.
It's a wrap. All right, well, Dewa, thank you again for stopping by for the great conversation. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for watching. Tune in next time. We're back with another great guest and another great lesson. Bye.